than my effort Thursday, where Chrome had done an update and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with my machine for like 25 minutes. It was so frustrating. I'm like, everybody is there. By everybody, I probably meant 10 people, but
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
was there, and I'm like stressing. I'm like, it was just, this is supposed to be the easy week two, not, and the thing that really hurt was when I had first started it, I was there. I could see myself. But
yeah.
then I'm like, oh, wait, I clicked the wrong button. I need to shut this other software down. And when I came back to it, it was all messed up. And I'm like, what happened? And so I spent 20 minutes trying to get the software to work again before I'm like, I rebooted twice. I, did everything. So finally I'm like, what do you mean beta? This is a regular, this is just downloaded this 12 days ago. How can they have a beta? Or fine, whatever it takes. Downloaded it and it worked out just fine. Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How many,
I saw you. I saw you flailing while I was trying to get words,
I
and it
saw
was
you flailing. Thank you. You're supposed to not be doing that because you're supposed to be getting all the words, not looking
well.
at me.
I was. Yeah. Thursday wasn't a great day for production. I got about 3,200 words though, so it was okay.
All right, Stephen
And
King.
still averaging 3,300 words a day for all of May,
Nice
and
job.
that includes today. I got almost 2,000 words already today. So
You are going to, at the very end, you are going to actually go ahead and make sure you're past 100K for the month, right? If you need a few extra
yeah,
hundred.
right now, the estimate, if I stay on this track, is like 99.9. So
Exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna be fine. I'll get 100 grand on a month.
I mean, that would
Even
suck.
well, because I can write notes on the other books because I've been thinking of other plots and other points, so I can dive in and get
Hmm.
100 words here or there on other books. But yeah, I'm gonna make 100,000 words this month, and it's been a while since I had 100,000 word month because I didn't have the compelling need. I had so many other things going on.
Hmm. I see that. Hey, everybody, how are things going? Craig, would you like to speak to the 40,000 effort?
I would. It's Saturday. Saturday. This is how we start off now, just in case, because so people know. It's Saturday, coming to you live from the subarctic. Michael and I, we started late because I was doofing around, and then of course I drink too much coffee, so I take care of that business before getting more coffee, and then get rolling. And so we didn't have our normal 15-minute conversation, so you got to see a little bit of us. Yeah, Michael making his. Please don't hate me because Facebook Live does already. He hates enough. Facebook Live hates me enough for both of us. So we're here. It's light out all the time now. You can't even see the stars. Not at 1 a.m. Not at 2 a.m. So
Dang.
this is how we are.
We, but
Um,
you. Just let's
yeah,
clarify
yeah,
that. Here in Vegas, I get to see the stars.
yeah, yeah. All kinds of stars. And I did finalize all my stuff for Vegas for October. Going there to work with Bolly's, make sure we get all set up there and get that arrangement locked in and things moving in the right direction for 2021, 2022. And as well as Sam's Town, because 2020, baby, we're doing 2020 as Sam's Town, and everything's on track. So as of right now, everything is on track. The stuff is arriving. Jim Slater is taking it in, piling it high, and getting ready for Vegas this year. Michael is in Vegas, and I'll go see him in October finally when we can travel again.
And
And
hopefully Judas Priest as well. Let's talk about that just for a moment.
yeah, indeed. This is one thing Michael said. Hey, Judas Priest is coming in October. Do you want to see him? And I'm like, holy crap! I love the Priest. I saw him when the Hellbent for Leather concert came out.
Are you
When
talking
the
about
album
the
first
original one?
when first Hellbent for Leather first came out back in the 1980. I'm not sure
Yeah, it
exactly,
was.
but I was in high school. We drove me and a friend went to the concert, and Def Leppard opened. Their first
That's
album
right.
was coming out the next week, on through the night. The
Oh,
Scorpions played second, and
oh,
these are a
nice.
bunch of young freaking punks, and I was one
A young
person from the
punk.
stage. I could physically touch the stage, and and they're playing like right here. I mean, from me to my computer away, and they're wearing spandex because it was the '80s. And yeah, that was kind of bothersome from a male perspective.
As you're staring up.
Right in my face. But they jammed. The freaking Scorpions they jammed. And then I had to move all the way back by the time Judas Priest came on because I couldn't hear. Because the first two were so damn loud. The one thing the Scorpions had going for them was maximum volume. So I went all the way back so I could still have my head and my wits somewhat about me. And they drove the Harley. That's how they opened the Hellbent for Leather concert. Was they rode the Harley out on the stage, and they fired a machine gun at the crowd with blanks, and it was awesome. I mean, it was a great show from the Priest. And when Michael said the Priest is coming, I'm like, yeah, we're rocking it. And then Michael said the virus is here, and all of a sudden Vegas is shut down, and we're like, oh man, they're not going to come in October. So we still have high hopes that the Priest is coming in October.
Yeah.
For us, because we have some righteous seats, man, and we're going to rock on.
We're going to try. But yeah, the Priest is here, and that means now that from that concert, 2 of those particular bands we've tried to go to. You were sick the first one, so we got the first one going on. It was Journey and I'm looking at the cover, Pyromania, Def Leppard. But they were there. You couldn't make it that time, so you were in town. You were really feet away from where they were showing. You were right across the street from it. You couldn't make it. So hopefully Judas Priest you'll be able to make.
Except for the little issue that I had the flu. So not going to that concert and hanging out with you and Steve Campbell. I mean, Steve Campbell's friend got to go. And so the ticket was used and used well and appreciated. Because these are rockers. Because Michael doesn't hang out with anybody who's not a rocker. And
he's lying. Okay, people, the shit that comes out of Craig's mouth should always be filtered in some way. But anyway, so I'm in Vegas. I'm in the cave in the sky. Vegas is ever so slowly starting to open back up. I found myself at a brand new Mexican restaurant yesterday. I tried everything. I didn't go in there and just order what I normally liked. This was a Salvadorian, half Mexican. The cheese pupusas, so. It's all right. It's on 10th and Charleston is where it's located, if anyone knows Vegas very well. But the flautas, which for me, is effectively it's chicken breast meat rolled up in a corn tortilla and fried. And I had cheese melted on it. Delicious. Theirs fell apart a little bit. Usually whenever you do flautas, you cook them to where the actual shell is crunchy enough to hold it together. They did not. I didn't care. And then finally I was like, I still have more room because I hadn't eaten, I don't think.
2-3 hours.
It was like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. Jerk. I had traveled around. In fact, I was talking to you. I got in my car. What do? I call Craig. So I was talking to Craig. We're driving around. I found out that my wife, who's actually from El Salvador, she was from down there, and so occasionally I'll go searching for El Salvadorian food. And so she gave me a list, and she gave me 3 things I normally don't get. And so I go to this place, and I found out they had none of them. So I'm left to my own devices. Judith tried calling around the town, and she got a recommendation for Esmeralda's. And I said, well, how about you call it and see if they have the food you want? They did not. So apparently no one has these 3 things that she wanted. But she, so anyway, long story short, by that time, I had been sitting in a Mexican food restaurant and getting no service whatsoever. So I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'll just go to this Esmeralda's. So like last time, I'm traveling all over Vegas, and I ended up over in Charleston. Lost. Yes, lost is usually what happens.
When you talk to me, I think it disconnects. You're having so much fun, and I'm giving you so much shit, so your eyes are blazing red that you lose sight of where you are. And
okay, yeah, we'll go with that. But anyway, so but the carne asada tacos were delicious. They were worth going back for. The flautas were worth going back for. So I will be happy to go back there. And so that was a little bit of yesterday. I played a little bit of hooky once I got out because food. I went for food. Then I came back and worked again last night. So I had a meeting with Lynn and had some things. And it was interesting because Mark Stigler has some quotes in his book. And in these quotes, there's apparently a really famous quote never heard before. So for me, it sounded like that someone misedited the ad. It's like I am, or I not become, I am become death or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
is, and
You
I'm
bet.
like, wasn't it have? Or is it I have become death, not I am become death? And then that's when I learned there was a very famous quote that he was. I didn't have a clue. That's
Yeah, yeah.
embarrassing.
And it is, I have become the destroyer of worlds, which is also a,
Yes,
a
it's all part of
comparable
that.
quote. Yeah. Yep.
Yes,
I am
she from
become
Shiva.
death.
I am
Yeah.
become.
It's
I'm like,
yeah.
mean. I am become death. Are they trying to? I didn't get it. So anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
But here we are, our road to 40K. We gauged when are we going to hit 40,000 members, and
by age we went.
we guesstimated, and I tried to lowball it, but I've been on a tirade lately, booting people for misbehaving, and and also we never loosened the restrictions. It wasn't like, hey, let's hit 40,000. We're going to let everybody in. No, the team checks those very, very clearly, makes sure everything is squared away as much as we can, and puts people in who want to be here. So we're at 39.9 something. Not quite at 40, but we'll get into 40 in the
We're gonna
next couple
celebrate it for
days.
a week or two here. So
We're gonna celebrate. It's like your birthday month, right? So
yes.
40,000 people. I remember I was one of the first people. Let's actually go right back to the beginning. 20 books to 50K. Can you define it for us? You started it, you trademarked it, and what does it mean?
At the time, I had two books out. I was down in Cabo San Lucas because my wife was going to officiate a wedding, so she was going to be the minister, so to speak, for our friend's wedding, um, because they had a split family. He comes from America, she comes from El Salvador as well, maybe, I think. Um, anyway, so she was going to be down there, and I was left to my own devices. Second book had been out. This is about 12 days, 14 days into my series of becoming an author. And I was making at the time between $12 and $15 a day. And so at that point, I realized, oh, wait, it looks like I can consistently potentially make $7.50 a day a book. Down in Mexico, if you want to live in a very nice, way, if you have the money to just buy a house, which in my case, I was thinking we'd sell the house in Texas and use that money to buy a place in Mexico, that you could live really nicely on 50,000 a year. So did the calculations. 20 books could help me make 50,000 a year, and I could retire my wife, which there was no way I could do that in America. And so that was the idea. I never asked my wife if she wanted to be retired. The answer actually was no. So
Yeah, it took quite a while before she kind of moved over.
yes, she didn't move over because she's like, hey, let's go do. No, she had none of the cash. She actually loves working in the large companies and all of that, and she had 20 years of contacts and everything else. So I just suggest that maybe if you think of retiring your spouse, you ask them if that's actually anything they care to do. But anyway,
Yeah,
so the
yeah.
20 books to 50K, I had come out at book 5, which is somewhere around January at that time, so 90 to 100 days later. I had helped some of my fans and asked, where they were asking me questions because I put in the back of my author notes this odyssey, kind of like kung fu, odyssey of going up and learning some of these things. So I built the Facebook group thinking about the back of my mind, you know what, maybe this will become something in the future. So why don't we go ahead and capture these questions? And if we can help some other people, we can. And I named it 20 books to 50K based on what my goals were coming out of Cabo just a month and a half earlier, 2 months earlier. We had 4 people that were there. And from there, K-Boards was kind of the place for indie authors to go and comment and talk to each other. And I had been getting a little bit of pushback from them because of what I was saying I was doing. A lot of people either A, didn't believe me, B, didn't like what I was doing, C, the wisdom or at least the experience I was having, and I was expressing my experience, didn't jibe with what they wanted to either espouse or felt, and it didn't really matter. And I got kind of flambéed, if you will, at one point, and then I wrote a really terse, long conversation point. I deleted it, went to sleep, came back up the next day, and then wrote, "Here's my experience. I'm willing to help. Here's a Facebook group. I've already got 4 people that have helped, and here's everything that we did. And by the way, I thought we would go to 8 people. That's where I thought we would end up. And that
And
weekend,
and
I
I'm,
was
and that is no kidding. I talked to Michael after, because I was one of that first, not the first 4, but I was the next wave of
wave.
people in that one day. And Michael, I talked to him on the phone, and he was really surprised that I'm really surprised that there's many people. I mean, it's just, hey, I'm telling what I did. I'm not saying I'm going to coach you. I'm not going to do anything. It's just, hey, let's talk about publishing books. And there were so many people disillusioned with K boards. What you did is you offered a lifeline. Hey, here's a different way to talk about books. Because I know right away, I'm like, hey, I got a new book out. And I said, hey, I have a new book out. And I published the link, and you're like, back and stop that. Don't do that shit. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Okay. And so what did you learn here? And I'm like, oh, okay, here's what made this launch different than my previous launches,
Yeah.
as opposed to I have a new book out and then putting the link in. And so this is why we've refined over the years. Here's how you announce when you finish a book. That's the big win for an author. Everything after that, okay, that's you put your business hat on and you make magic happen. But yeah, Michael was, hey, it's just so that level of humility, it is real, because every day is a new surprise at what happens in the industry and what happens with LMBPN, what happens with the authors in 20 books to 50K. We talk about it all the time. Hey, did you see this? Another author making X. Another author who's here. I saw a post yesterday, Jillian Dodd, 1 million page reads a day.
Nice.
And so, because I posted the KENP rate, she's like, getting a million page. Okay, that 10% drop on the K. It's kind of an impact with that. Yeah, it's painful. It's like the barbed wire enema. So
Yeah.
let's
Well,
not do that. So
a million
Michael, back
page
on.
reads a day, that's like losing 100,000 page reads a day. If you were
Yes.
100% KU, which we're not, no one is.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you said that yesterday, I was just like, well, there went a really solid, good, awesome month.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michael was like, "Oh man, look at this month that came through," and then yesterday is like, "Yeah, there's a day." It's like an average month. And it's like, well, it brought it. It wasn't a bad month, mind you,
No, it was a
but
solid month.
it wasn't that. Hey, we're really this month looking good, because
I
on my
checked it
book
out.
report, I just use
Go ahead.
whatever last month's rate is. I mean, I don't guesstimate. I don't consider it money in the bank until after they report the rate and we know what it really is.
I had set the company up at 0.0045, which was lower than what the previous month was. So I thought, it'll go down a little. No. So it hit us hard, but not as hard. But now I've set us to last month's rate. I didn't want to, go any further than that, but I have set us to that. And just, from that, we only had 2 rules in the beginning, and I think the 2 rules are pretty consistent still. However, people have been nice enough to make them a little more palatable. My original rules, as I stated, was don't be a dick and don't sell your own stuff. Don't try to sell stuff here. That's not what the purpose is. And my reason for the don't sell stuff is actually because authors, even those that don't have enough money or very much money, will still feel, engaged if someone says, can someone please buy my 99-cent book? They'll still want to do it, even if they know that in the big scheme of things, they might need to be saving money up for Infamil, which is incredibly
Yeah.
expensive. So that was the reason, is the reason for that rule, is so that no one feels obligated to buy it. And we're here to learn about making the money, not getting someone else to buy something from you. So that's the reason for that one. And the other part is on Don't Be a Dick was we're adults. We're not here to sit there and coddle you and explain to you why you can't understand how to do stuff. And there are only 2 rules. And if one of them is you have to figure out how to not be a jerk. We're not here to teach you that. So that was the reason for the 2 rules, and they have been implemented very fairly, I think. And there are times when people make mistakes, or their VA makes mistakes, or whatever. And but in general, it is an aspect that I think still is both the best draw and the reason people are most upset with 20 books, because they got their rear ends kicked out. It's what 4,000 or 5,000 people have been kicked out of the group for doing that.
It's almost 5,000. I checked this morning when I checked the numbers. Almost 5,000 people are blocked, not just removed, but removed and still blocked, and 39.9 something for folks there.
Yeah, so we're going to pass it during. I mean, we're going to celebrate 40,000 for the rest of the month. And Craig, I approached you, and it's kind of funny because I don't generally pay attention to the size of the group. So normally, I'm like, Craig's like, and so we just passed 30,000. I'm like, wait, what? I think I was on board for 20,000. Like I put a little graphic, ooh, 20,000, and then 30,000 came and went. And I'm like, well, where'd it go? And so I was like, all right, I see that we're at 38.9 or 39.2 or something. Craig, let's do something for this. And so we've been working behind the scenes, all of us, to try to do something to celebrate 40,000. I think a good party is something that would be nice this time of year and what's going on. So I would like you to discuss your opportunities, please.
Okay, for today, one thing I did, as we talked about this last week, is I put pricing strategies, release strategies, and collaborations are all free today. So if you just read them in KU, go buy it for free and enjoy. If you don't have it, buy it for free, and let's keep it in the group. It's just today only that is free. So take advantage of it. Everybody in the group, please download and take a look. Even if you have no desire to do a collaboration, there's other things in there in regards to collaborations, like throwing a short story in an anthology or something like that. So let's those are free and today only for the group. Enjoy, because I wrote them all for the group. So I didn't write them to, hey, I'm gonna make a business out of nonfiction and being the sales guru. Because if I was truly a sales guru, I'd be selling more goddamn books. Anyway, so even though I sell okay, I'd be selling more damn books if I was a guru. But one thing I do know is I've gained a good appreciation and understanding of the business, and I do know a lot of people now, thanks to Michael's influence and Michael's introductions around the globe.
Michael, starting at the top of the stage, I just want to say that if you would like to speak at this event, don't talk to me. Because we have one rule for these events, and that is I don't tell Craig who put on stage, and he doesn't make me work in the trenches with it.
Yeah.
And so, but that is one of the things that we'll do, Craig, and I don't know if during one of my talks here you can even start the process, but we will put the link in the reminder. We'll put hashtag 20 books 40,000 giveaway or something so people can try to search for it. But we will put all of these things we're talking about, the links into 20 books, the dates that they will be given away or anything like that, because this is for 20 bookers. That's what this is for. We're not here to try to teach in or give away stuff to other people. So another thing that is going on that's a little different this time is, in the past, Michael Anderley's been the one who has given things. This time I pulled in the company LMBPN, and LMBPN is going to be giving away some things. So one of the opportunities came up with Ali, the Alliance of Independent Authors. If you ever get a chance, go back and learn the history of how Ali came about, with Orna Ross, with Joanna Penn, with 2 or 3 others. I think they discussed it one time, and my version of the story has them doing it around one of the London book fairs. I could be completely wrong on that, but I wanted to celebrate some of the things that people who came before me certainly accomplished. And so when talking with Orna Ross and engaging with them, she has agreed, and LMBPN is working with them. Ali is going to give away 10. You can renew it, but 10 1 year top prize free membership to the Alliance of Independent Authors for a year. They're going to give away 10. Now, what's important also with this, they have a brand new book as well. And like what Craig is doing is Craig moves the information within the group and he puts it into books. And then a lot of people ask Craig questions. And so he has given advice. And so for a lot of times, Craig, I think you wrote the books just as much so you didn't have to answer the questions over and over and over again. Yeah. So, do get a hold of Craig's books. Ali, what Orna Ross and they have done is they have a book entitled Creative Self-Publishing, Make and Sell Your Books Your Way by Orna. It is effectively straight from the editor. This is the digital version. When we put the link up in 20 books and you go there, you're going to put in your email, your name, first name, last name, and email. in order to get there for the prize drawing, I think, and it's in the rules, but I think it happens June 1st is when they're going to pull it for the 10 winners. If you put your name in that list, you will get the book. So if 5 people try to win and then, they get it, or if 5,000 win, it doesn't matter. However many people go in, you will get that book from Ali and from Orna Ross. So we really appreciate Ali working with us to celebrate 40,000 here. And like you said, we're going to celebrate it all the way through the end of the month, depending on which prize drawing you're talking about. We can do others. And then so we will put the link into the 20 books to do that. And then LMBPN ourselves, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So LMBPN is personally going to give away 4 iPads. These are the 128 gigabyte Wi-Fi enabled just iPads. These are the core ones that are more than powerful. They do now have the ability to do the pencils, and they have the ability to do like the little keyboard things, but that's we're not going that whole hog. Let's get it real here. It's like, yeah, we're making buck, but we ain't making that buck. So we're going to give away 4 of those. We're going to give away 4 Amazon $50 gift certificates for others who might want to do something to help their own creativity going away. So we're going to pick the winners for those. It looks like we will announce them on June 27th. So we're going to be a little bit earlier than the end of the Ali, but we're looking at doing that. And then anything else that comes up, if you have a desire to give away something, reach out to either Craig or myself, so that we don't want people randomly sticking stuff like, hey, I'm going to give away this. Then it becomes a free for all, and it kind of breaks the spirit of don't try to do stuff. So get a hold of Craig, get a hold of myself, or there's an incredibly good chance it'll just disappear. So, but otherwise, LMBPN is going to give away 4 iPads. We're going to give away the 4 Amazon gift certificates. We worked with Ali. And then if it comes about that we can, lean on some of our friends in the industry, if they would like to do something, then we will do that as well. But right now, today, do not miss Craig's books, because they're there today. All you can eat of Craig's books.
And Ali, that link, are you going to share that after the show, Michael?
Yeah, I'll put that. So you let me know when you are ready to talk, and I will go do that.
Okay, I'll jump in now. I been working with Michael for quite a while, and the group was starting to lose focus and flounder a little bit. And Michael asked me to be a moderator. I said I'll jump in, because there were some things I'm like, hey,
you were doing it anyway.
I was going to do it anyway. So I hadn't been an admin, and all of a sudden now, a year and a little bit afterwards, I became an admin. And it's like, okay, let's get this refined. Let's continue to give focus. And I refer back to a Steve Jobs quote, because they asked, well, what about this? It's breaking, this software, this interface with your systems. And he said, I have people to take care of that, even though, yes, I did it at one point in time, but I'm driving the boat. If I'm down fixing the engine, then I'm not driving the boat. So that's a rising tide lifts all boats. If we build the tide properly, then everybody else, when you're in your boat, you get picked up, and now you can have momentum forward, and you're floating. You're not dragging on the bottom. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep that rising tide, keep things a lot at the macro level, keep focused on our business in order to move forward. Because one thing that was happening, there was a lot of breakdown in craft conversations and things like that. And it's like, okay, these are the triggers. These are the dog whistles that fire people into orbit. So let's just not do them, because people cannot control themselves. And then this year, over the past year, I've really been trying to focus on professionalism, because there's so many groups out there, hey, professional author groups. And I look at them and I'm like, we're every bit as professional as them. All we need to do is, here's the standard of being professional. And if I was a Fortune 500 consultant, I worked with Fortune 100 companies in the CEO realm. So I saw how the boards worked. I saw how the people acted. I saw how people worked with each other, even if they didn't like each other. And it's like, this is what professionals do, because it all is about something bigger than yourself, which is your business. When you're the business, whether as a self-published author, you are the business, you have to rise above yourself and not be something that may hold you back from achieving what you can achieve as a businessman or as a businesswoman, as a business person, as a business professional. Because this is it, professional. These are people who make money from your business. That differentiates it from a hobby, and that differentiates what 20 bucks to 50K is all about. Because when you go back to Michael's design of it, it's a retirement plan. In order to fund a retirement plan, you got to make money. So we've refined that. Here's professional. If you're here just to publish a book, but you don't care if it sells, that's great. But do not denigrate those who are trying to make money in this business, because they might be in a dead-end job. They might be freshly divorced and have lost the ability to, for the family income has now been cut in half. And what are they doing? And they're like, I always love to write. I think I can make money at this. And what we're trying to do with 20 books of 50K as professionals is show people that your words have value. And here are ways that we have realized some value from our words. And there's a process and there's a lot of elements, because you know what? Being a professional in a business is freaking hard, but it doesn't have to be impossible. And it doesn't have to be a mountain that you can't climb. You're going to be challenged no matter how good you are at all of it. You're going to be challenged, because what worth having is gained easily. I suggest that's not a whole lot. When I was 16, I was given a car. Hey, nice. I turned 16. I got a car. It was a nice car. I tried to take care of it. But you know what? Not as well as the car that I actually paid for and owed money on, that I took out a loan to buy. So this is as a business professional, where you're running the business, you're funding the business, you are the talent of the business. Appreciate it and treat it like a business. Don't go off on your fans. That's one of the worst things to do. Is if somebody bought your book and then gives it a bad review, don't go off on them because you made a few nickels from them. Now those bastards who buy your book, give it back, get their money back, and then give you a bad review. Those are bad. No, they're still fans. It's still an opportunity. And if you show a case of ass going after a fan, you're going to lose other readers. Completely independent of everything else, that alone shows, whoa, I don't want anywhere near this guy because they're a flamethrower, too volatile. And manage your brand, manage your professionalism. And that's why the blanket rule of don't respond to Amazon ads or Amazon reviews. It goes to professionalism. Now, I've seen authors respond to Amazon reviews very, very effectively, but within their brand. Hey, I ask questions. I'm a hard science fiction author. So here's the science. Let me explain this, because it seems like something may not have been clear, and that's on me. That's my fault. But here, let me put this explanation in here. It's like, holy cow, on brand, perfectly on brand, and never attacking the reader. Even if they give you once, it's okay. And there are people, as my private Facebook page, nothing is private. You put it online, nothing is private. So understand, if you go on a tirade on a private page, it could very well be public. So on brand, when you're a business, especially when you're the sole provider, now this is your only source of revenue, you want to protect that like a basket of eggs.
Nice, not crunchy.
Did you get that link up?
I got the first one up. Ali link is up. I also pasted that one over there in this here somewhere.
Okay.
Going up and down, but I'm about to hit the one for also the LMBP giveaway. So if you could just give me 60 more seconds of conversation, Craig.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can talk that long.
You have done whole shows. I've sat here when we're here and I'm looking at you and you've spoken for 10 minutes straight. I'm pretty sure 60 seconds is plausible.
Oh my God. I'll work on it.
You do that.
So being professional and putting out my books just to fill gaps in knowledge, release strategies, pricing strategies, which goes hand in hand with release strategies, because how you price a book could impact your release. And I've done probably about every kind of release you can do in order to try to maximize how it impacts the marketplace, gets visibility, and then increases it, because everything is about increasing sales. So if you want to add readership, then you add readership. I've got over 100 books in my backlist. So if I can add a reader, that's potential to sell 100 books or get 100 books worth of page reads. That's a veritable shitload of money. So, and from one
Veritable.
reader, a veritable. I haven't calculated it exactly because it's it's not that important. I just want to get that reader on board. As far as what exactly is the potential, it's like potential energy. I'd rather measure kinetic energy. Here's the real thing that's happening. So anyway, that's all that I know about hard science. I'm a lawyer. I got a degree in humanities. Yeah, baby.
Well, Daniela
Humanities.
mentions that, as Craig knows, a lawyer can talk all day long.
But will they say anything? That's the important thing.
Not that'll get them in trouble if they're a smart lawyer.
That's right. That's right. Talk around in a circle and never say a damn thing. What was that?
So by all means, please, we'll probably come up with something else that we'll give away. But let's turn this rest of this month into a celebration. Thank goodness that the companies are there to support us. Doesn't matter what company you are. Doesn't starting with A is for Apple, Amazon. I should go Z is for Amazon, Kobo, Google. I'm going to be missing all sorts of names and faces and distributorships and everything, but you just by and large, we are agnostic. Whomever you wish to use, we will. Let's thank them. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's come out of this pandemic ever so freaking slowly as we move ahead. And this isn't, what we're talking about, but just good times, good things. Let's do something here, folks. And so 40,000, I think we're like 98 short or something like that.
That's when I checked this morning. Ann is an all-star. Ann is the employee of the month, and we don't even have employees. And already she wears the title proudly because she bears the lion's share of getting people into the group, and that's great. It's consistent, which is important. She's very, very consistent. And we talk about people all the time in our separate private admin channel just to make sure we administer the group consistently. But 40,000, we gain more people than we lose every single day, every week, every month. We gain posts. I mean, we get 250,000 post comments every month, more often. So it's a good group of good people doing good things. We have, I think at last count, we were almost $23,000 donated for the 20 Books Indie Grant. And we've given away 22,000, 22.2, I think, as of yesterday. And the decks are clear. We have addressed everybody who sent us a note. And thank you to all the people. I think we have 125 donors. And because all I'm seeing is the PayPal receipts, I don't really have the capacity to send every single person a thank you, but I'm saying it right here. Thank you to every single person who has donated and shared. A couple people who got grants right away have already either given the money back or donated on their own. Actually, it's 3 people. One person was able, hey, here's $20 back, but thank you. You changed my life, and I can actually give this to you as opposed to ask you for money. Another person returned the whole amount. Another person returned half of the amount. And it's heartwarming to see that truly people are giving back when they can, that it lifted them over this bad spot in their lives, thanks to the virus, thanks to other things that were going on prior that the virus didn't make any better. And then all of a sudden, okay, we're coming out the other side and things are looking up. And then those people we've helped, one person was getting ready to get kicked out. That got them over the edge, put that on hold before, of course, the landlords know you can't kick anybody out during this, but got them over the edge, and then they were able to get things together for moving forward. So keeping people in their homes so they can write, so they can tell stories, and get them to a point where they see more success as an author without carrying them. It's like, it's still your author business, but here's all the information. Here's a little bit to get you over this hump.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just think about, and I mentioned this not that long ago, I suppose, but just think about how many authors need help. We need covers, we need editing, we need marketing, we need, even if you spend your ad money back at Amazon or back at Facebook Book Club, you're still moving that money around. You're still helping people. So even, as successful authors, just think of how many people you positively touch each time, which means that, as you help somebody else become a positive and profitable author, they will then move that money around. They must, because it's very few people who are strictly going to only do it themselves. There
Yeah.
are, that's fine, but even then, they're going to use that money to procure food, which is going to help a farmer. So just, you have to be profitable in business, and that money is going to move. So, even there's benefit. So we applaud that.
We have a question. Are the contests only for U.S. members?
No, mine aren't.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping to God that that I'm able to get an Apple iPad that doesn't cost as much to ship it as it does to win it. But I can say mine aren't. I don't actually know on Ali's but they're European, so I would assume they aren't. Craig, I mean, so long as it's free, you can download it
Yeah.
right now from Amazon. So there
Yeah.
you go.
Those books are free. And if I if I give something else away directly via Amazon, I might do a Kindle Paperwhite or something. I love giving away paperwhites because I think all authors are readers first.
Hmm.
And so, and I tell you what, the Paperwhite changed how I read digitally, because reading on your phone out in the sun or something like that, I can't do it. But a Paperwhite I can, because the only time I go out to sun to read is when I'm keeping my wife company while she's sunbathing or something like that. And I hate doing that stuff, but a Paperwhite enables me to do it without
I
too much grief.
Yeah, so Judith, my wife, Wendy, Craig's wife, we're in Bali. This is the first time I was really around Wendy. So I have this very supportive friendship model with Craig, and it's called try to embarrass the hell out of him. And so it was one of those situations when I'm meeting Wendy, and for the first time, we get to talk about the Chuck Tingle connection between Craig and Chuck Tingle, and I'm trying
No
to
connection.
embarrass. I'm trying to bring up a side of Craig that perhaps Wendy didn't know, only to find out she was the one who laughed the hardest at all of this. So her personality fits Craig to a T.
I was happy to pull up a Chuck Tingle cover and show her, and
You were. I was
she
just
was
thinking, I'm like, you're
dying.
messing up my groove here, man.
You
But
you ruined my jibe.
yes, exactly. That one went down in flames. But that is funny. And actually, I did think about it. Um, we do know some people over at Kobo, and would be more than happy, because we do have the rest of the month to party. I would be more than happy in talking with them and give away some Kobos, because they have some as well. Give away some Amazons. So I think that we'll do a little bit more throughout the rest of this. Isn't the only thing that we'll end up doing,
Yeah,
but we just want to make sure that people know. Get a hold of Craig, get a hold of me before we do some random stuff, or you might find yourself having that thing deleted. So just so you know.
yeah, yeah. We don't want to see first books in series given away for free. That's advertising.
Yes.
That's not giving something away for free. Give away your whole series for free as a paperback or something else. That's something else I might do, but that would be U.S. only. I tell you what,
Yeah.
my I love the Judge, Jury, and Executioner series covers,
Hmm.
and Michael pays for those with through Jake Caleb
No. Yes.
graphics.
Yes.
Yes,
Jeez.
Jake does an incredible job, and of all my paperbacks, those look the nicest on the shelf. They're the right size. They're good trade size, and they're perfect, man. Thank you. They're perfect.
They're perfect.
But
But
this goes to what Michael was saying about spreading the money around. We work with. I know you work with a lot. I work personally with like 8 different cover artists, an interior artist. I have a formatting guy. I have an EA. I have other helpers. Elaine Bateman is helping me with the Indie Capstone. She's my EA for that. I have Kendra is help. She's a volunteer, but she's helping with the 20 Books Vegas emails, because email was causing me so much grief when I ran 20 Books 2017, 2018, that she jumped in and helped that divert a lot of that pain and anguish from the emails. So there's so many people doing so many different things to help us and keep that money flowing. I mean, if we're doing well with Amazon, it's because of who we're surrounded by. Editing. I have 2 different editors, and I like working with each, and it works well because we have a great relationship. But once again, the money's flowing because I get a great book back, I get a great book out, and everybody wins.
Yeah. And just I've seen a couple of notes about, people who this is not a pitch. This is not a Jerry Lewis telethon. We're here to celebrate the 40,000. We're
Yeah,
merely
yeah,
explaining these are the gifts we're giving. We're not looking for anything. We don't want anything from anybody, but we know the quality of the group and the hearts of the group. You know what? Just mention it. You're here on Facebook. If you're listening to us, mention someone else's book for them. Find a book that you love and that you feel good about, and just go put it up there and go, I recommend this. There, that's it. No cost. You just help somebody's life. So it can be anything. You have 10 people on your email list, do that. We're going to help each other. So I really don't want anyone to feel bad. This isn't any situation.
yeah.
It's not a Jerry Lewis telethon. You're going to find
No,
out that we don't take money into. The only thing is really the one Craig talked about just transferring the money out. And all they were doing is there's nothing. There's no overhead. This isn't a non-profit. It's a
yeah,
give it all away. So,
yeah,
thank you very much for that. So I just wanted to make sure people knew that this is an opportunity to celebrate with us wherever you're at, because in 5 years, you're going to potentially be that person doing whatever it is you're doing. Everyone's at different stages in their lives and their
yeah,
careers and their family and what's going on. So just put a smile on your face. Let's party. However that
yeah.
means now virtually. And Craig, are you 6 feet apart from me? Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 6 feet apart from the rest of humanity. Living where I live, Alaska hasn't been impacted a whole lot simply because we live so far apart from each other. We have so much space. There's no major complexes. Like all of Alaska has 700, less than 700,000 people, and it's 2.5 times the size of Texas with 700,000 people. So it's I have 12 acres here. My
Do you
neighbors,
really?
they are yeah, because I bought the lot next to me and I've got a woods behind me, and
Oh,
then
I
I've
didn't
got
know that.
a horse pasture up on the hill as well. Now, in the spring, after the during the melt, yes, we get a lot of that horse pasture down in along our yard, and
Hmm.
the smell is much very much like horse pasture. So it's it's out here. There's so much space. I'm not breathing anybody else's air. Even when we go in town, you're not breathing anybody else's air. We don't get that busy with anything. So it works well. I think we've had one case here in Fairbanks in the last month, maybe.
Hmm.
So things are reopening and people are feeling safe about going back to work and making things happen. So we're good here. We're good.
It reminds me. So I just on this show, I'm learning that Craig has 12 acres, right, all around him and everything. I knew you had acreage, but I didn't, or I knew that you were in the middle of nowhere, but I didn't realize you owned acreage. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's similar to the very first 20 books to 50K event in Samstown when I'm going into the Ponderosa Room, I think is the right name for that one. Anyway, I'm going into that and I'm listening and I hear rock music, which is so rare because I don't normally hear heavy metal or real rock music. You get that boom bop 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 bop. Anyway, and then I find out Craig loves heavy metal. I'm like, how have we been best friends for so long and I don't even know that you like this?
and he's like, "Where'd you get this?" I like, "That's my phone." It's
Yeah,
like, "Oh my god!" And mind
exactly.
blown.
It
Yeah, this
it
is
was it was because I'm like I knew there was a reason. Well, okay, second reason I liked you. It wasn't for your covers. I just want to say that.
that's it. I should put those. I'll put those in the thread. I'll put my original covers. My Michael Anderley hates these covers in a comment in the thread after we're done. And
You
yes,
are
yes,
unique that way. I did. I mean, I am usually like live and let live. I don't want to make any waves. That's just not my style. And for you, I'm like, oh God, man, you've got to change your covers.
yeah, yeah. Talk about you wrapped a good story in a shit burger. So it's like,
So, and
yeah.
then also, we would just like to thank all of the companies who have been
Yeah.
so giving in the last 40,000 users,
Oh,
everywhere
incredible.
from
Reedsy. Anywhere we
yeah.
go, Reedsy, Ricardo Fayette, and Dan Wood, they have been just lockstep with us. I mean, we've had other great people,
Cutler
Cutler from
with
Ingram
Ingram
Spark,
Spark.
and so many other people. But Reedsy, I mean, they're out there for us. Mark Dawson has been incredibly supportive, and just the general aura of those folks who have jumped on and said, yes, 20 books of 50K is real, because we're not pimping anything here. I mean, yes, we may support Mark's course, but
Yeah.
we're not showing anything. I mean, we're happily married. It's not we're trolling. We despise the folks
I
who
have a
use their
Spanish wife, Hispanic wife. There's no trolling or death occurs.
yeah. I mean, it's and you see other groups where they devolve because the leaders have this a second agenda. And my secondary agenda is to sell more damn books of
Yeah.
mine. I mean, my science fiction. That's
Yeah.
my everything else is like I'm giving back. 20 years in the Marine Corps, I have to give back for the rest of my life to make up for stuff. So it's just, hey, that's just how it is. We accept that. There is no other me out there, because nobody's that much of it's just not. So we make the 20 books events happen. They're not for profit. We fill the gaps. If there's funding gap, we fill those, because we want to make sure these events happen, because they are so uplifting.
Yeah.
That I mean, the aura in Samstown the first year, it was amazing. And I look at that conference and I'm like, my God, that was Little League. And so many people told us this was the best show they'd been to. I think because of the way people approached it. Last year, 20 Books 2019, we filled the hotel. We had people, we had event, we had 50 some different sessions. Compared to 2017, it's like 2019 just blew everything away, and people had a great time. The hotel staff liked it, and it's just it was an amazing engagement across the board, and it
Yeah.
set the standard for shows. Uh, it's because, once again, we go back to 20 books to 50K registered, about being professional, and people understand, hey, don't be a dick. It really is that simple. Don't be a dick, and don't try to sell me anything. Let's just have a relationship about the one thing we love, which is the books.
The
Whether it's
business of the
nonfiction,
book.
fiction, it's the business of writing, that your words have value, and how
Yeah.
if you help others, you're going to realize, hey, it's very fulfilling. I think Barry Hutchison, in his Scottish accent, gave it the
Oh,
best in London with bootstrapping, because you haven't heard it until you've heard "Don't be a dick" with a Scottish accent. And he helped people, and he got on, and he learned, and he moved forward, and he has a very, very successful author business and career now that was built because of "Don't be a dick." Just be a nice guy, help people out, write better and better stories as you go, and it's amazing what can happen. And this is 20 books philosophy. We're not going to carry you. We have a lot of people who aren't with us anymore in the first group who came over, just because, hey, this isn't my speed, this isn't my pace. So we always reiterate, 20 books, you don't have to write 20 books in a year. You could write one book a year.
mm-hmm.
Just 20 books is about $750 a day. It's just a numerical calculation. You might be making retirement money with 3 books. You might need 50 books. I have 100 books, and hey, I got retirement money now. But it's the philosophy of the approach. If you help others, that will help you. And if you're mercenary about helping others just because you want to be helped, they'll see through that. Humanity is pretty smart. So helping others, you'll realize, and then the more you'll learn, you'll be like, okay, I got this. You're going to fill those gaps that are holding you back. Because business, some people are like, oh my God, I just want to write. You're cutting yourself a lot of the funds. You'll have to pay a lot. And if you learn it, well, then you're not going to have to pay anywhere near as much to keep moving forward. And that's helping people out to help yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Just stories. I appreciate the person. I don't know if I saw exactly who said it, but there's, the camaraderie between Craig and I, the laughter that we have, and just the other stuff that goes on. And I do look back at the last 5 years, which is what we're rapidly approaching since I released Bethany Ann. We celebrated the third second anniversary of Bethany. No, that can't be right. 15, 16, 17, 18. So third anniversary of my first book released at the first 20 books event. The day that it started was the third anniversary of it, and we had a fantastic time. We had an event almost, on top of Vegas. We were at the Delano Hotel. 80 people were there. We were looking up the strip, and it's like, folks, a lot of times I mentioned in that conversation when I had my little speech, I said, people think of indie authors selling out of the back of their trunks down there on the bottom of Las Vegas in an alleyway. That's their mind. I'm here to show you we are indie publishing. We're at the top of the Delano Hotel in an exclusive area, having steak or fish or whatever you had at that moment. This is who we are. And I think that we've proven that every step of the way. In last 20 books November, LMBPN has gone around the world multiple times to multiple events, for whether it be Frankfurt, which is the largest, or London, which is one of the biggest for English speaking, or Beijing, because it's one of the biggest markets in whatever it takes, and of course, in America. And in doing so, we created relationships, which is the purpose. Your ability to do an email is limited in creating real rapport and relationships. LMBPN made an effort to take those relationships and these people in these traditional markets. We're talking Publishers Weekly, a magazine that had been around for 100 years. You're talking Ingram Spark, which is part of Ingram, which is a many billion dollar company. And Robin Cutler, who has been to hundreds, if not thousands, of events. And the same thing with Kevin, who is like the second in command there, and two or three others. And we could just name names, and you're talking Amazon with 14 people. And they knew, well, in case Amazon knew, one person knew because he was there the year before, but Robin and Kevin is like, I can tell you, this is like nothing I have ever been to. And that was before Craig opened it, because of the energy of the people and the excitement. Once again, no one was sold. We were not sitting here and, by the way, no, that's not what it's about. It's about giving back. So thank you so much. 40,000 people. We're going to hit it in the next few days. It'll certainly be by the end of the month. And
certainly.
And provided Craig doesn't sit there and go, and you were gone, and you were gone. I'm like, Craig, what are you doing?
I see you didn't like my post. You're out of here.
That's not a reason for that.
Oh, Craig. sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. So, we don't care. We don't make any money off of the tickets. Those tickets are to cover stuff. If there's a little left over for next year because of all the efforts, we're going to have to get resources, because you don't do a 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 person event on nothing. So there will be some of that, but otherwise, so guess what? We don't care if a BarCon happens. We really don't care.
Yeah.
There's not like what's going on now. There's a lot of effort put into this. So yes, we absolutely will try to make sure that the 20 books to 50K, the motif and everything else is adhered to. We're not here to make it become a free-for-all. Heck no, not on that one. So, but when it comes down to, when large companies go, okay, but what's the VIG, man? What does it take to be a platinum member? What does it take to be buy a ticket? Perhaps buy a special ticket?
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed listening to Craig last year when he would tell, I got contacted by so and so. They're wondering if, and you're like, buy a ticket.
Yeah. A lot of people wanted to pay sponsor fees. Hey, do you take sponsors? We'd love to sponsor your show. Well, thank you, but no, because also it's not taint the show, but it is. This is us helping authors, helping indies. And you can't have that if you have corporate sponsors. And sometimes you need corporate sponsors in order to make sure you get the venue you want because it's high dollar or something like that. But we don't. We're not in that position. And by the time we are, Bali's in Vegas 2021 will be our 10th event, our 10th conference. And how about that? How about them apples, huh? 2 in Adelaide, Bali, London, Scotland, and then that'll be the 5th Vegas show.
Rami Vance learned so much in having to do the Edinburgh because I mean it's hard, and thankfully, kudos to the SPF guys for
Yep.
implementing stuff over in Europe. Thank you very much. I just remember when we're like, no, Craig is like, I'm never doing it again, never going across the world. And it
Yeah.
wasn't not even a week later. He's like, Edinburgh. And I'm like, Edinburgh? Where's Edinburgh in America, Craig? Edinburgh. And he's like, it's not. And then he comes up with this thing going, oh, by the way, well, that's where my wife and I got married. So, that one is acceptable. I'm like, really? That's your reason for
Yeah, because I wanted my wife to come to a conference, and so
Okay.
that's why Bali, and that's why Edinburgh,
For your
because
wife?
I want
Okay.
two
Windy.
places where my wife absolutely would join us for the show.
That's
So that because she won't go to Vegas, that's just how it is. I mean, okay, I get it. And but one thing we can give away, Vegas 2020 is going to happen. We're going to Sam's Town in November. It'll be good enough because of the situation. Now, people overseas might not be able to come because they might have to quarantine going back. I think those blanket orders through 2021 are premature. I think you're going to see a lot of things change between now and then. However, there will be enough change that Vegas 2020 is still happening. We're still going to be good. We're still going to have a great time. We're going to put on a good show with whoever we're able to get to come. I think we'll probably get the vast majority of folks, so that'll be fine. And so one thing I'm going to do is I will give away 5 tickets to the show as
excellent.
a Vegas 2020 for those who said, I'm in America, I live a drive away, I don't even have to worry about flights. Pretty good. I am whatever I need to do. So 2020, and we'll wait on 2021. I'm not going to give away any tickets to 2021 yet. even though we're already committed to the show, 2021, 2022. So I know I'm going to take people for the show, but we'll get that later. We'll focus on 2020, baby, Vegas 2020, which will be our 9th show, and we'll make it the best show we can make it.
I sat, speaking of stories, I sat with Craig. I can't even remember which event this was, but it was overseas. I do remember that part. And just thinking, what is my life? It's been so blessed just because of him pushing and putting on these shows. That I'm like, I've now spoken around the world, helping people push their lives forward because of this event or these events that are there. I never considered myself someone who would have traveled the world to do it. And so a lot of times people don't realize we pay for ourselves to go on these things. So Bali, I paid for it. Usually, although I didn't do it this time because something got screwed up, and I can't say now every time, but usually I'm the one where Craig goes, "Can you check and see if this thing works?" And this thing happens to be like signing up, getting the ticket. And so I'll be like, yeah, let me see what's going on. And then
To include payment.
Yes. And so my phone will go, ping, your Amex has been charged. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Yep. So actually, to make it easy on me, if you're watching the show, if you want to be considered, put in all caps Vegas 2020. Please consider me, and then I'll go down those comments. And if there's more than 5, we'll roll a dice. If there's less than 5,
You're saying right now in this particular
right now,
okay,
live, because I will check it after we aren't live when we're Memorex, and then we'll pick them right away, and I'll send you a link separately so you can sign up and provide all your information, but no cost to you. So
and that is the ticket is
5,
no cost to you.
The ticket is no cost to you. Yeah, you're on your own to get to Vegas. You're on your own to find a place to stay. Rooms are opening up in Sam's Town because people are canceling. And I'm still trying to draw down numbers because I think we're probably going to be limited on our numbers for the show. So we're not going to be able to really blow it out unless there's a rather significant change, like an antibody test, and they find out, geez, 95% of the population is not susceptible, or they've already had it, or something like that. And then hey, then it would change, and it's like, oh, everybody bring in, just so you have your antibody test. Here's my card, and there you
Yeah,
go.
you're gonna have to pick people. I've already counted 5 that have said Vegas, consider me.
Cool, cool, great. Hey,
So
thank you for
yes,
watching today, and thank you for being interested and want to join the show.
yeah, absolutely. Um, I don't know actually what time is it? Oh, it's 10:08. So, man, I just want to say, Craig, just from the bottom of my heart, I'm so glad that we ever met each other. You know, I really cherish your friendship. I cherish, the opportunity to work with you and everything I've learned from you.
Thanks, Michael. One thing I was going to do for today's show was wear the exact same shirt you were wearing and make
Uh-huh.
you change, and then you would have gone changed, and I would have had the backup shirt ready and had that on for when you came back, and you're like, God damn it.
Unless there's actually 3, well, there's 4 colors, but I don't own one because I can't. There are 3 colors that LMBPN could be. What are the colors, Craig?
I only have black and white, man.
What about fluorescent green or fluorescent yellow?
So puce. I guess I don't have
No,
puce.
remember the security one. That's
Oh
the
yes, I have that one too. Yeah.
I know, but see, people might not know. There's actually one of
Yeah,
those,
it's true.
and man, you cannot be missed. Blind people in, you know, Russia can see you from America
And
if
so
you're wearing
can
that shirt.
Nevada State Troopers, we found out.
Yeah, yeah, let's not go there. I'm just I'm like, wow, I think that's a cop way back there. I was already behind another car going the speed limit. He's still coming up.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
have just kept going.
No, you shouldn't have. Getting shot,
I didn't see you.
watching you get shot would ruin me and Mike Bray's day. So they would have hauled you off, and we'd have been driving alone. It's like, geez, who's going to pay for lunch? I mean, priorities, man.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I haven't driven up that way again. I just not wanting that kind of thing.
Please, please let Ping Pang Pong be open in October.
Yeah, by the way, so I told Craig this yesterday. Ping Pang Pong is the Chinese food, and it is sitting aside. What's the
It's
golden?
Gold
What's
Coast,
the
yeah.
Gold Coast? Well, I found out that there was a restaurant called Ping Pong Thai that was nowhere near the Gold Coast, and it was open and for sit down. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this is the family restaurant to Ping Pang Pong Chinese. My wife told me that wasn't true, and yet I still held out hope. The sad answer is no. Ping
Not
Pang Pong
related.
Chinese is not related to Ping Pong Thai whatsoever. And I'm like, what's the
Yeah.
chances of this? Anyway, the answer is it's 100% they're not the same. Just letting you know.
Yeah, that's cool. And one thing that Martha Carr, an
Yeah.
LMBP author and our friend,
Yes.
she's doing lunches every Friday with fans. So she does a Zoom call and has pizza and orders 5 pizzas for fans, and they eat and talk. And next Friday, it's going to be
Nope, nope,
Michael's
nope,
going to be
nope.
on.
That
Oh,
she was trying not to mention that. You,
oh,
you,
geez.
sir,
But you
are.
want people. And Jesse Ray's. You support Jesse Ray's. Are they going to be open?
They should be open, but I will be going getting some barbecue from Jesse Ray's and having at this place I might not ever show up at, which she was trying to hide. I agree with
Sorry,
you, but she's the one that
I didn't know.
I don't know.
I didn't know it was a secret.
That's on her. You do
Because
now. She
Michael
should know.
Anderle,
You do not tell
don't
Craig
tell
Martelle shit. If you,
anything or caveat it. Yeah, if you caveat it, we're good. But damn. But
but
the
that was,
luncheons is something Dakota Kraut does. He buys pizza for his fans, and then they have lunches, and it's a your fans. That's the most important thing in your life. People willing to pay for your books because they're the ones who make you a professional. You can try
yeah.
to be one, but if you don't sell any books, guess what? So you need those people buying your books, and you need to love them and give them the appropriate attention and support that they deserve. So everybody have a great day. I am 75 gigs over my limit already,
Oh
halfway into the
no.
month. Oh fuck! This is going to be a $3,000 month because Zoom. My wife has a lot of Zoom stuff, like
Oh,
a
okay.
thesis defense and other stuff. And Zoom is such a bandwidth hog that I mean, abrasive. This month's probably going to cost me $3,000 for my internet, and that choked me up this morning. I looked at that and I'm like, oh my, it's the 16th, and I'm already 75 gigs over at $15 a gig.
Ooh, there's 1,000.
Yeah, that's
and there goes the end of the show with the word.
oh my God.
Sorry, parents out there, Craig.
Here we are. We didn't caveat right away, but this is me and Michael, so I would like to think that you know better, but we didn't caveat it. It's Saturday. All right, everybody have a great day.
All right,
Thanks for
everyone,
joining
take
us.
care.
Good luck and celebrate 40K. It's a great month. It's a great milestone.